Good morning and welcome to part 2 of the schools that participated in the double-header round that was aired on last Friday's viewing of Schools Challenge Quiz. And the teams that were represented were Manchester High, and they went up against Glenmuir. You know, so you have to, that's how I have to pronounce it this time around. Guys, this one was a tight like new brief, tight like banjo string, tight like man wanna like spend on Valentine's. Yes, guys, this was a battle that was bittersweet. It's bittersweet because there's a guy that's on I remember the Manchester, I think his name is Kimmerly. He's been on, I think, the last 2 seasons, and I think he would have been the most junior one on the team last year because they had a powerhouse last year. But like all schools, that when the more mature set leaves, the younger or the youngest or the greenest ones are left to start developing the new bloods. And he would have already shadowed the ones that are, I'm not sure if he's even in 6th form, no. But if he is, well done team Manchester, you didn't prevail, but I appreciate the effort that was put out. Pity you never know that song there by Lionel Richie. Hello, I just saw hello go, you know, but such is life. But anyway, guys, let me just jump into the stats. So at the end of the opening challenge, they were on, Glenmuir was on 6 and Manchester was on 4. At the end of the speed section, Glenmuir was on 24, I think, and Glenmuir was on 23. They were on 23 and Glenmuir was on 18 points. Now, what I deem as being the unfortunate demise of Manchester is like, well, first of all, they did a stupendous job in the response times for the buzzer section. Kimmerly, yeah, you did that on fire, but my brethren, because at one point they actually passed out. And I like how the momentum come and the heat of the chase. I love want to catch them up back Manchester. I'm not lie. And at one point I was really rooting because of the effort that was expended to try and close the gap, especially by that young man, Mr. Kimmerly. Big up yourself. But good sense and a calm head prevailed over what them call it? Sorry, Glenmuir. Glenmuir would have been, in my estimation, I think they were the better of the 2 teams. From just coming out of the opening challenge and the buzzer round, the response times by Glenmuir was not so great, not so hot. I don't know if it's a case where it's lack of response times or poor response time, or them never really know the answer to the question. Honestly, I don't know. I couldn't read them facial expression. But big ups to Manchester for making that really valiant effort in surpassing them. But sadly enough, hello, the question there, Jano Star. Such is life. The match ended on 23 to Glenmuir and 22 to Team Manchester. And I was slightly annoyed by the visual. They had put somebody on the board. It was I don't know if it was a case that they weren't seeing who the person was, but apparently we could see somebody, as in the viewing audience would have seen a picture of a celebrity. Glenmuir had buzzed in and Marlene claimed that nobody was on the screen as yet. But by the way, the time it took to have the person come up on the screen was a lot of, it's, in hindsight, it might not have been a lot of time, but the seconds count, guys. it was easily 4 or 5 seconds that could have been put back into extending the time of the match. And I think TVJ needs to look at that. Whenever there's technical glitches or delays, just like a football match, put back the time. Put the time back on the clock. Because even the last question, in a bid to try and save face and win, you know, poor Manchester did buzzing for that final question there, which they never got the chance to answer because it timed out. But anyway, guys, valiant effort. Really, really good match, guys. And all the best to Glenmuir. Both Glenmuir and Manchester have been very consistent in their performance over the years. I've never had a season where I saw a bad performance from Glenmuir or a bad performance from Manchester. Manchester coming like them bride. Always the bridesmaid. A long time, a time I turn the bride now, Manchester. But this is not the team that's going to take them to the finals. Well, obviously they're out now, but the team last year and the year before would have been. But the powerhouses were so great. Diego did dip on them. But anyway, guys, on that note, have a really great rest of the Monday. And I'll see you all, God willing, on Tuesday. Toodles.